What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Miles. I got my boy Bigsmooth with me.
What's happening?
On
What's
the
happening?
DJ Miles podcast, where we talk about mental health, we talk about God, talk about real life, and we talk about music. I got one of the hottest Tallahassee producers here, Bigsmooth. I said his name already. We always start off with a feelings check. So, how are you feeling, and what's one thing you look forward to?
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for having me on the show, bro, on the pod. Nice to meet everybody here. Yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Bigsmooth, Bryce Bigsmooth, local producer here out of Tallahassee, coming out the South. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good, bro. Like, I'm glad to be here. Like, appreciate you inviting me out here. And one thing I'm looking forward to is this weekend is Father's Day, and this will be my actual first Father's Day. So I'm looking forward to that. Me and my wife had our first child. We got to welcome her into this world a couple weeks ago, back in May. So we'll be celebrating. I'll be soaking it all in, just being able to, just look at the bigger picture of, how life is, like being able to have a wife and a child, start a family. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Did you cry when your child was born?
Oh yeah, I did. I was trying to hold it together, man, because seeing your wife go through that pain when she's in labor, bro, it hit different, bro.
Yeah.
It hits different. Thankfully, we had some really good nurses. We had a doula as well, so we had that support system, and then we got family here now just helping us out around the house. So, but yeah, it was a rough night. I ain't gonna lie, but it was beautiful in the end when everything, no health issues. The baby's healthy. My wife is healthy. Everything's good.
So, who wakes up in the middle of the night?
We be on that. We be taking shifts for sure. So
Yeah.
like, I'll be up late anyways because I'm in grad school,
Yeah.
and so I'll kind of take like the late nights. So I'll like literally last night I was up to like 4 o'clock, and my baby looking at me. I'm looking at her after feeding her a bottle. I'm trying to get her to go to sleep. So and then my wife would kind of like take her in the early morning from like maybe like 5 to 8 and all that stuff. So we'll kind of take turns. So
Getting that good skin to skin too.
yeah,
That's the most important
yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
That first 6-7 months, that's how they get attached to you. That skin to
Absolutely.
skin.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
gonna always gravitate to mama more
Yeah,
because they've been right there in mama's stomach the whole time. But yeah, that's sweet, bro.
yeah, for sure.
That's so you guys got a song. You and Cary The Dreamer.
Yeah,
I think I believe I met you through Cary and through the
Yeah.
AHA show.
yeah.
And you guys not only have a song, but we ended up chopping it up too. You want to touch base on that?
Yeah, bro. So yeah, shout out Cary the Dreamer. I wish he could have been here with us today. It would have been cool if all three of us could have chopped it up. But
Yeah, we don't have to do that in the future.
yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
we locked in a couple of years ago. We were actually right there at Goldie Sound. That's where I met him.
Mhm.
I don't know if you're familiar with Derek Minor. He's an artist out of
Yeah.
Nashville. He had an album release at Goldie Sound, so we were there listening to his album, and then that's how I met Cary. So it was like, let's lock in, let's work on some music. So this year, the type of music I make, I always want to do stuff that kind of reflects what I'm going through in life. I feel like that's how you just naturally relate to people. You know what I'm saying? So with me having a baby on the way and Cary already being a father, I was like, let's do something for like talk about fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? Something that's real, that's more like raw. So we were working on that since February, and then with Aha coming through the town, that's one of my favorite artists. So I always
Same.
want to show love. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him many times in different shows, and he's super cool, really down to earth. So I was like, let's go, chop it up. And Matthew, I know he locked in with Matthew.
Yeah.
So I want to support Matthew as well and what they got going on here in Tallahassee. So I was like, oh yeah, we pulling up. That's easy work. So
Yeah.
and that's why I really love the small shows, because you never know who you're gonna meet, and it's always like authentic. It's not like you at a big arena and it's just like, okay, you go to the show and then you dip.
Yeah.
Versus you at a smaller venue, it's like, okay, let me look to my left and to my right, network. You never know who you're gonna meet, and that could open doors for yourself too. So that's how we got to connect. So I'm really happy about that too, bro. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, man.
First and foremost,
Yeah,
congratulations.
appreciate that, bro.
On
Appreciate
the
it.
newborn baby.
Yeah,
10 toes, 10 fingers. Always a blessing, my boy. Seriously.
facts.
Seriously. Life is crazy, man.
Yeah,
Not
man.
everybody has 10 toes and 10 fingers.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
real. So, and bro, I'm so glad we chopped it up. Because I was just hanging out, I think you ended up introducing me to Matt, or Doc did. I can't remember who did, because there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
And I ended up chopping up with you probably just as long as I chopped it up with Aha. And he was like, "Oh yeah, he's a cool dude." I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like, you definitely should come on the pod."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I believe we can chop it up for longer than 10, 15 minutes by something positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something positive, motivational. Definitely should come on the
Yeah,
pod.
for sure.
Because it's really just like a conversation, really a vibe. So let's talk your very first beats and what made you take it serious.
Yeah, so my first beats, getting into music, I was in high school. I feel like this be like the producer origin story is like you get a laptop, somebody bootleg FL Studio onto it, and that's kind of what happened with me. So I'm just
Same.
making little janky piano beats, you know what I'm saying? And let's see, I was trying to mimic just like the producers that were popping at the time. So like being from Chicago, you got like Young Chop, like
Yeah.
you had, Chief
Go.
Keef coming out there. You had Dirk, all them. So Chicago was popping with like the early drill scene. So those type of beats. And then growing up on the south side of Atlanta, that's when like, Migos was coming out, Future was coming out, Thug and all them was coming out. So you had like Metro Boomin, you had Zaytoven, of course, like he a legend out there. So I'm trying to mimic like their type of production and stuff. And
Right.
it probably didn't come out as clean for sure because I just had the little stock plugins that they had in FL Studio. I didn't know how to play the piano, none of that. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
just learning over time. So then I started, that was in like what, 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And then I started taking music seriously in 2017 as far as being a producer, like for sure, like I actually wanted to dive into it. So yeah.
Bro, that's lit.
Yeah.
That's definitely lit, bro. So you said you used to play football from what I heard.
Yeah. That's how I kind of started getting into it seriously because I grew up playing football. I was gonna like play in college. I got like one D1 offer from Stetson, but they didn't offer full rides at the time. And it ain't like it now where it's like, okay, they got NIL, I can just go there, get a transfer portal somewhere else. It was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for school. And then I ended up going to a HBCU in Alabama, Tuskegee. Shout out Tuskegee.
Yes, sir.
And I was gonna walk on there, but that didn't work out because I was like, man, I already got a full ride for academics. And I don't want to, potentially put my full ride scholarship in jeopardy trying to chase a athletic scholarship.
Say that again for the kids. Please. Say that again for the kids.
Look. Like, it's really, like, you got to know who you are as an athlete. Like, I'm not saying I wasn't like that, but you just got to look at your odds, bro. Like, it was a D2 school. I already had a full ride scholarship.
Right.
There was no need for me to put that in jeopardy to chase a academic scholarship because then I'm always be like college football. Playing collegiate football is difficult. Being a college athlete,
it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job,
yeah.
bro. And like I said, it's not like it now. It's like, okay, at least if I had like an NIL deal going on, I'm making like $50K and I'm playing cool. You know what I'm saying? But it was just, I'm poor. I ain't got no money. I gotta keep this scholarship. So I had to make a business decision for sure. I miss playing sports, and that kind of led to me to end up diving into music because I had all this free time now. Like after I'm done studying, hanging out, I'm in my dorm and I'm just like, dang, like around this time I'm either working out, training, doing whatever. So that's how I really started picking up music and taking it seriously. So
that's funny talking about it because like the way I got into beats was completely different.
Yeah.
Like I started rapping in 2011 and then I just remember my dad got me a laptop in 2013. He surprised me with it. I was supposed to have a birthday party.
Yeah.
Nobody showed up.
Dang.
So he just surprised me with a laptop. I'm on FL. This is probably before it was like FL9 or FL10 back then.
I don't even know nothing about that.
Man, that was a terrible era. You had I was straight sampling. I wasn't making stuff from scratch until my homeboy was like, "You're gonna be just like Kanye West if you don't learn how to make stuff from scratch." I said, then Splice wasn't a thing either. And nobody was really on all platforms. This was the mixtape era.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like, I got into it and what is it, 2025? It'll be 12 years or something like that. This month. Okay. So it's different. I've switched between FL, Pro Tools, Machine.
Okay.
I tried Ableton. I tried a little bit of everything. But for some reason, that FL Studio. Let's talk about it.
For beats. It's so nice. Now, Ableton, I got a homie out in Atlanta. He produces out of Ableton. And he be He be making me want to try Ableton, and I will one day. But FL,
Ableton is cold.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, Ableton is good, but FL, man, like I just feel like it when it comes to getting stuff done for beats,
Yeah.
it really helps out a lot, especially what they got going on now. Like as they keep updating the FL apps, like there's a lot of different tools that they're adding into it. So
Yeah, they're competing with Pro Tools.
yeah,
Because I wouldn't dare record music on FL Studio a couple years ago, but then with
But
Pro
now-
Tools,
yeah,
you pay $600 first and foremost, and then after your little year or however many years of subscription, you still got to pay $30 a month to have the full thing.
yeah.
So I said, no, I'm gonna switch to FL, and by the time I did, it had the fade tool, it had everything that I needed. But back then, you couldn't record. You was better off recording on like Adobe Audition or something. You feel me? Like it was like recording on FL. I remember I was so mad when I had to pay for Pro Tools again and didn't have the money. I was like, my music is gonna sound terrible. Oh, it was bad, bro. Like, with that being said, who's your favorite producer ever? That's a tough
That's
one.
a really tough question because I'm pretty versatile as a producer. I think lately I've been more like going like the soulful hip hop route.
Yeah.
But I love like the trap beats. I love like the different types. They're so like hip hop is very broad. And I
Yeah.
love how like every city got their own sound, you know what I'm saying? But I honestly I can't give you my favorite of all time.
You can do a top three though.
Okay,
Right?
bet top three.
Yeah.
I'll say Zaytoven for sure.
Okay.
Knife Wonder.
Yeah.
I love Knife.
Knife is cold.
Knife Wonder.
Zay is cold too though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see how like that's different. Like Zay does like the piano, like how he intertwines like that church trap sound, and then Knife Wonder he intertwines like the sampling.
Yeah.
And then I'll say my other favorite producer right now, there's this brother out there in Atlanta. His name's iProject.
iProject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people he got a lot. He's getting more placements now, but I think he's my age. He might be younger than me, but
Yeah.
his beats be going crazy. He's very like how he thinks, but he makes like really hard trap beats. But it's like how you never would have thought of. It's not typical how he does his trap beats. So
I know what you mean.
With him. Yeah, for sure.
And it hit different. It's room for the artist. So if I gotta go three, I'm definitely going Zay.
Okay.
No way around that. I'm definitely going. Okay, that's the trap element. So Jake one.
Okay.
For sure. And I want to say Calvin Harris, but that's not a favorite.
I mean, it's
so I gotta say
I
gotta say the Alchemist.
Oh,
because when I first started making beats,
yeah.
I wasn't making trap beats at all.
Yeah.
I was doing my first few projects was Golden Age hip hop.
Okay.
And then when I started getting into like listening to Thug and listening to Rich Homie and stuff and liking that type of music, then I was like, oh, Zay, Lex Luger, Young Child. Like I knew about them and like I would do soulful stuff with trap sounds.
Yeah.
But at first it was literally like hip hop snares, tick, 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 and then the snare like, and then it just transitions like now like I won't dare sit down and make a boom bap beat. I literally won't. Like every hi-hat is like crazy triplets and quadruples and stuff. It's like, how did you what do you feel influenced your transition from how you made beats maybe in 2017 to, because I heard the track, and for that to be your influence back then for what you produce now is like pretty iconic.
Yeah, that's a really good question, bro, because I think it's really just what you consume, honestly. And I also feel like it's kind of like when you going through life and as you mature, I feel like my beats just sound more mature.
Right.
Like I said, growing up, it was Young Chop. Like we on YouTube listen to Chief Keef, and we got Dirk, we on Spinrilla, and we on like all these mixtapes coming out like during the mixtape era and stuff like that. And I came into hip hop late in the game, honestly. Like, so growing up, I was a church kid, so I wasn't even allowed to listen to rap.
Same. I was still sneaking on that computer listening to College Dropout.
So my first like hip hop album I listened to was "If You're Reading This Is Too Late."
That was your first?
That's the first album I like listened to through and through.
For real?
Yeah.
Bruh, we was on LimeWire with it. And we're only 2 years. You and my little sister, y'all the same age.
Right.
We're only 2 years apart. we was like LimeWire.
Yeah.
Like I remember my big sister had bought me Young Jock. I remember she bought me, I think, T.I. Shout out, sis. Love you. I remember I begged her, like, hey, you got to buy me this Young Jock CD. Like, you got to get me this. Like, this is, so for you to say if you're reading it, it's too late. I want to say I was like literally 18 years old when that came
16.
out.
I was like 16, 15, 16.
So you went that long. Your mind's sharp then. Because I shouldn't have missed it.
But see, the thing is, I had to like, I knew I was really behind. So I had to really do my homework and like go back. So I would say I really like studied out hip hop. Like, okay, let me, and it's not like I never heard rap. Like, you know, you out and about, you got skating, you got the skating rink, you got the bowling alley, you out at the barbecue, they playing the music, you on the radio, whatever. But like, to actually go back and study, like, and you know, it's crazy, like how Knife Wonder became my favorite producer. It was because of Lecrae. If you remember, he had a mixtape called Church Clothes.
Was it one or two?
One. Church Clothes.
I listened to that my junior year. I think Lecrae is the gospel GOAT. It's either him or Kurt. Yeah, it's fair enough to say
that's
that.
fair. Yeah,
yeah.
For sure.
But I remember that project.
Yeah,
that was mixtapes. Yeah.
So his mixtape, Church Clothes, he had S1, he had Knife Wonder, he had Boy Wonder, he had like all these producers. And what's cool was in the song he actually put the producers in there. So it's like a lot of people don't do that. It's like he credited them like in the things, you could see it.
Right.
I was like, oh, who Knife Wonder? And then, you know, you got Kendrick, and Knife Wonder did a lot of stuff for Kendrick. So then I go and I listen to Kendrick's catalog, and I'm kind of like just spreading my like my palette and getting more artists in there and stuff like that. And that's how I start discovering all these producers outside of also just like I said, like the Metros, the Zaytovens, but that was like what we heard like every day in high school because I'm in Georgia, I'm in Atlanta, so
you literally you might run into Metro, you know what I mean, like
So I got to meet Zay. I got to have a conversation with him. That was really cool. Because he, you know, 1K Few, he kind of put 1K Few on.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's weird. My road through hip hop is like, my entryway was actually through Christian rap. And then, like you said, like just, I wasn't allowed to listen to hip hop, so I'm sneaking it. So then I'm kind of creating my own path.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting. Like I'm always like going back and forth of like, let me learn about this. So I remember when my homie was like, bro, you got to listen to the Kanye stuff too, bro. Like, you from Chicago, you ain't listen to College Dropout. You from Chicago, you ain't listen to Common. Like, you from Chicago, you ain't listen to Lupe Fiasco. So I had to, you know, make sure that I get put on all that stuff too. So
those some good friends.
Yeah. Or Nas, bro. Like
Nas
Illmatic, that production, or even on like going on Hulu and watching the Wu-Tang show that they had. Like that was really dope, and seeing how they became a group and what they had to go through to become a successful group. So, and then, just watching documentaries, I just felt like I became like a student of hip hop. Yeah. Because I really love hip hop. So.
Right. Yeah. Right. But you don't necessarily stand for the sport aspect of it. Like I got to tear this brother down.
No, absolutely. It does. I mean, that's not how it started.
No, it didn't.
That's not how it started, bro. Yeah. Like, it's no need for that. Like, that, and that's why I say, like, my music has matured, or the music I try to make is more mature, because like even today, where it's like who's really like the front runner of outside of like Kendrick, right? Like who's okay? That's a better question.
Great question.
When Kendrick is done, when J. Cole is done, when Drake is done, who's taking that mantle? Who's the next ones really like that's gonna the torch being passed down to with hip hop? I don't really know if we can say exactly.
Well, like, I mean, because you can't. It depends on what you consider hip hop. Because a lot of this music is like borderline trap, borderline pop, borderline R&B, with a little bit of rap. But if you're saying like rap wise, like real rap but still hard, I mean, you kind of got to put a lot of the Atlanta guys there. Yeah, you got to put the Lil Babies. You got to put the Rygos. You got to kind of put them in that conversation, because they talk about what they went through, but they really talk about getting money. Yeah, and that's cool. You know, that like it's okay. It's motivation. I can live with that more than you talking about killing somebody every single song.
It's like the drill. Yeah. Like I feel like the drill culture is kind of overtaken, bro. It's like I'm not I'm a regular dude, bro. Like,
Right.
I'm not from like I'm not. That's not what I come from. Like, I'm a church kid. I grew up in the suburbs. I don't have ops.
Me
I
neither.
I don't want to have ops, and there's a too much going on in this country for black people to be promoting tearing other black people down
Right.
for a dollar bill, or just because like you can't handle yourself, you can't have self control, bro. Like what's going on in Chicago, like with Dirk about to go away for life, bro. Like, and that's the thing. It's one aspect. Like, I listen to Dirk because it's like when it comes to like the gangster rap or the drill stuff, is like, nah, he really about that life.
You know what?
So I can appreciate that. But
He was the one to take the torch. You just answered your question. It was gonna be him.
But he dropped it because you at some point, if you're gonna actually take the torch of hip hop, you gotta leave the street. You gotta let the streets.
You gotta let the streets go.
You gotta let the street stuff go, bro.
Because if we're gonna be honest, Nas may be educated and he may be a good businessman, but he's from the streets.
Yeah.
He's the street as they come. Yeah. And he still incorporates it, but he does it in such a poetic way that you really don't feel negative listening to it.
Yeah.
But then you got some people, you listen to it, as soon as you hear it, you start thinking all these crazy thoughts. But the way he says it's like, oh, you're clever with it. This is just how you express yourself. Some people, they're just literally like triggering.
Yeah.
And yeah.
For some, it's like this is my life versus this was my life. And I'm just telling you what I went through.
Say that one more time for the kids.
Is the music, is it okay, that's actually this ain't my life. I'm pretending it for it to be.
First and foremost, yeah.
This is my life, and I'm currently doing this stuff, and I'm making this music to paint the picture of what I'm currently doing versus this was my life, and I'm trying to tell you what I experienced so you can understand what other people like me experience, so you don't, or to kind of steer you away from experiencing it yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and that really comes to like, what's your motive for making the music? It's like I'm trying to persuade you, I'm trying to convey a message versus I'm just doing it because it's part of the culture. Like with drill culture, it's like that's kind of part of it. It's like I make a diss song, you make a diss song. It's a way to dance on your op. It's like, yeah, I was on your block.
It's marketing.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And they try to make it seem like it's this, but it's like, the people that run these labels, they're like, hey, beef with this guy, it'll make your record sales go up. And I always tell my friends when they get caught up in those beefs, I'm like, bro, like, you do realize that every time you feed into their beef and comment on it, all you're doing is giving more attention, but then you're upset that people are still beefing with each other.
Yep.
Until we say, hey, this is not cool anymore in the black community for our mental health, for our livelihood, then the labels will stop telling them to make this type of music. I remember my academic advisor, Edward Waters, Dr. Davis, before she went to FSCJ, she told us that, it was like, man, people don't like real music. She was like, if y'all stop listening to that stuff and stop buying it, they will stop making it.
Yeah.
Because that man that's at the top, he just want the money. He don't care how he getting the money, but he want to write you off on his taxes. That's all he really want to do.
We know these folks ain't like they not like us, bro. Like they just see us as dollar signs. They just like, they probably don't even let their kids listen to the music that they artists make.
Bro, you just hit on something. I think Fabulous said that. One of the artists, he said, I don't let my kids listen to my music. So you want us to listen to your music and we're not cool if we don't do the things that you do. That's crazy.
So we know there's a level of consciousness that comes into play, and it's like, are you going to listen to that and follow it, or are you going to put it in the backseat and ignore it?
Right.
For you to make money, because that's what it's all about. It's a money grab. So
yeah, I believe, this is my theory, I believe if a rapper, okay, Dirk is actually the proof.
Yeah,
I believe if a rapper is really talking about what they doing, they going up the road. Because it just happened to Dirk. Yeah. Dirk is one of my favorite rappers. Like street rappers. Yeah. Him and Lil Baby, that's like my top two right now. And
you see, and now you see Baby kind of at a crossroads right now.
Yeah.
because he's tied into the streets, and there's a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta right now, and people saying like, "Oh, the music is flopping," but baby's like, I can't fully be authentic how I want to be because I know the fans are watching me.
Yeah.
I know there's some tie-ins like I could go down too. So it's like now he's kind of at a crossroad where it's like I got to pull back my music a little bit. Yeah. I feel like I can't be my full authentic self. So he's trying to like figure out how am I going to rebrand myself to still be real, still be raw, but also just like I need to leave. He knows he got to leave the streets alone, bro. So I hope he doesn't become the next Dirt because it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I hope not because I like Baby, bro. I like what he got going on.
He's a lot smarter than he presents himself to be.
Yeah.
I really respect him. Like when you listen to what he says, they say he's not that intelligent, but he is.
Oh, no.
And when I listened to his most recent album, I was like, okay. My thing that I tell anybody, if you're not gonna necessarily be like gospel, try to be motivational. Motivate somebody to get some money. Motivate somebody to be confident. Why you think people like Beyonce so much?
Yeah.
Because Beyonce, when you listen to Beyonce, for women and for her demographic, they feel like her or they feel like him.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, sometimes when people listen to music, they want to get hyped up maybe to go to the club. But that don't mean I got to say something really crazy. All I got to do is find the right beat, say a little bit about getting some money. And I don't really think that's ethically wrong. You know what I mean? But I do think it's doper as an artist if you can make a song about a story in the Bible or make a song about principles in the Bible and be just as good as the Lil Babies, the Drakes, the Beyoncés, the what's his name? Calvin Harris, whoever you name. Morgan Wallen. I meant to say Morgan Wallen. If you can be that level of hit maker as a gospel artist, which is why I'm doing this podcast, I feel like that should be highlighted more because you're serving your purpose and you're going closer to God and you're doing what you love to do. You're killing 3 birds in one stone. Yeah. You can't lose that way.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And that's why I'm glad me and Cary linked up on this because with this single For the Fathers, I really love how Cary like took his time with this record because if you listen to the lyrics, it just is like him having a conversation with God. It's like, because he starts off with all this joy and he's like, this is for the fathers. And he said, God bless me with a family. But he says, but the question, am I who I need to be? Can I give them what I ain't received?
Yeah.
And then I think that hits so hard for all of us. If you're a son, if you're a father, whatever, like, even if you got your dad in your life, like I do, like I have a great father, but there's always we're humans. We're not perfect. So there's always going to be like, for me, I've had those thoughts of like, okay, these are the mistakes my dad made, or this is something I want to do better that he ain't do. As a father, what am I going to do to improve? Can I step up to the plate? Right. With everything going on in this world, it's like, okay, you feel the burden of being a man, like providing for your family, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or if you didn't have your dad in your life, and it's like, I want kids. Am I going to make mistakes? Can I give them?
Am I good enough to even be a father?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Keep going. I'm listening to you.
Oh, yeah, but absolutely. It's just, he opened up with that line on his verse, and it's kind of him just like, him reassuring himself, like, God, this is what you said. Like, keep your hand on me. Like, keep your hand on my children. Even when I make mistakes, give me strength. Protect us, guide us, show me how to be a leader. And it's just like, okay, like I can relate to this, but it's like the flow and the cadence that he did is crazy, bro. Like and it's so soulful. Like that's where I came in. Is like, I want to make something like that soulful, but has like that good, like feel good hip hop to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's easy to just rap in triplets and just talk about whatever versus let me actually give you a message, something you can relate to. So
that's real. It takes a lot of work takes a lot of passion. You have to actually love your craft. Yeah. Your music has to be like your child. You know, and with fatherhood, you know what I mean? Like having a child, holding them and being your own. Right. That's your music. Right. Every song is your child. So with that being said, I need you to send me a snippet of that. Yeah. I need you to send me a snippet of that joint. We're gonna take a quick break. And we're going to play it on the show. All right, Ben. All right. We're going to take a quick break, y'all.
God is proud of you. He sees everything you do. This for the fathers, dreamers. Doing this for the fathers. I hear the father, and he say he proud of you. Doing this for the fathers, and I hear the father, and he say he proud of you. You don't mess around, you gon' hold it down, 10 toes down like you do. Doing this for the fathers, and I hear the father, and he say he proud of. One of the best things that happened to me. God bless me with my family. But the question, am I who I need to be? Can I give them what I ain't received yet?
What's up, y'all? It's the DJ Miles Show. We back. Just seen that snippet. I hope you guys like the snippet as much as I did. First time I heard the song, I felt it. You know, being a father of 2 daughters, father of 1 daughter, Cary, father as well. Yeah. He'll be coming on the next episode, y'all. So shout out to Cary The Dreamer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for him, we came together, and I got Bigsmooth here. So now that they've heard the snippet, let's dive deep. Let's get into the student of hip hop, and let's ask you this.
Okay.
What was the process of making For the Fathers?
Yeah, man. So this year I wanted to do an EP that was actually like centered around fatherhood. So I wanted to have multiple songs that talks about different aspects of it. Hey, and for the kids, bro, if you want to make music, just know talent is everything, but you gotta have the bread to do it, bro. Like if you ain't have
Preach.
the bread, you gotta have it's an investment. It really is an investment. So I had all intentions of doing the EP, wasn't able to get it done, but I was like, bro, I still want to do something. So
Yeah.
Me and Cary linked up, and I called him originally because when I'm working on a project, I kind of lay everything out of like, this is my kind of like make like a vision board essentially. Like this is the soundscape of the project. This is all the things I want to highlight. These are the elements I want to have. These are artists I want to potentially have on it. So I was intentional. Like every artist that's going to be on the project is going to be a father, and that way they can tap into some element of fatherhood that they can deliver. I'm still gonna get the EP done. It's just I was supposed to do it this month, but it's gonna come out later. But so I hit up Cary. I was like, hey bro, let's talk about this subject, like the do like a song that's kind of like a POV. Like what's the point of view for you as a father? What would you write? Like what would you want to share with other people? What would you want to share with other fathers? And that's kind of how it came to be. So we linked up. I already sent him the beat. Yeah. And he already liked it. So having like a writing session and then crafting. I already made the beat, but it's like, let me craft the beat to you. Like, let's tailor it. Right. That alarm means my baby girl crying, but it's fine.
Oh man, we gotta get you out of here, my boy.
It's all good. It's all good. My wife got it, but
that's a good wife.
But yeah, so we taking our time with it. Like I said, we started working on the record in February, and then we had kind of crafted. We had went through a few like versions of it. Like I remember when he was writing it, like what he started with is not what he ended with, but it sounds very similar, right? So start just coming to my crib, chopping it up, writing, and then once he was ready, went to Goldie Sound, got it done. Shout out Goldie Sound, great studio here.
Yeah, I went in the main room.
The main room
with the Sony CG.
Yeah.
$10,000 microphone. They don't even know.
Yeah, bro. Great quality, great sound quality, bro. So we went there because everything we want to do, we want to have good quality, bro. Because you never know where this record can go. So we recorded it there, and so it was like, all right, let's take the opportunity. Like Father's Day is coming up. This would be a really good time to put it out around Father's Day, just to think about the marketing and stuff like that. So that's another thing I'm trying to get into now. Is like, you can have good music, but if you can't market it properly, it's not really going to
somebody way worse than you is going to get way further than you.
Exactly, bro. Especially with like we talk about like the positive stuff, the negative stuff is going to go viral easier because that's what the algorithm feeds off of.
And the devil, if we go back to biblical, for a second, the devil was the lead of the choirs. The devil had the most beautiful voice out of everybody. You feel me? Got to stay hydrated, my boy. I feel it. So the devil is the leader of the choir with the most beautiful voice. So that's why a lot of trap songs, a lot of negative demonic songs, you like, well, man, like, why is it so hard to stop listening to this? Because it's almost like a spell.
Yeah.
You know, but go ahead.
But yeah, this is like, you can go on TikTok and just post some foolishness, 1 million views, you know what I'm saying? So they got to be more like strategic when it comes to marketing my records. That's what I'm trying to learn now. And it's interesting because as a producer, it's like I'm not the artist on the record. I'm the producer. So like, think of like DJ Khaled. Think of like, you know, DJ Mustard, or sometimes Zaytoven. He'll do his own stuff. Metro, he'll do his own albums. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to like think of like, okay, what are they doing? How can I replicate that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought this would be a great time to put it out during Father's Day because people gonna hear it and they're like, yo, this is crazy. And it's like, you share it with somebody, like, we're encouraging you, like, share it with a father figure in your life, share it with a family member, a son, your dad, your granddad, like, share it with people, bro, because this is something that it's a really good message and it's really encouraging. Like, I'm listening to it myself. I'm like, dang, bro, like, this a slapper, bro. Like, I'm fixing the baby bottle at 3 a.m. I got my AirPods on, and I'm vibing, but like, I'm tired, bro. Like, I could use some to kind of give me a boost right now. So
I don't miss making bottles, my boy. But I don't miss making bottles and having to make sure the ounces is right. Cause your daughter at that age where it's gotta be, it gotta be pinpoint. It gotta be every 2 ounces, 1 scoop. I know exactly what you're going through with that. But that song, you listening to it and you hear that God's proud of you and you like, bro, I'm finna make this bottle so fast. I love you, baby girl.
Yeah, facts. It's like, when you need that encouragement, bro, like, I put it on, it's like, just as an encouragement. And I'm sharing I got other homies in my life, they get married, they having kids now, so I'm sharing it with them, like, hey, bro, like, this for you, this song for you, bro. Like, give it a listen, add it to your playlist, like, throw it on when you just need to relax, throw it on when you need to just get your energy up, bro. So, dang, man.
She's crying. She probably spazzing too.
She either hungry or she getting her diaper changed. One of the two.
No, them diapers get crazy.
Yeah. They ain't been too bad. She just don't like them. She just don't like if she sleep and then we gotta change her diaper and we wake her up and she get fussy. So that's probably what that
Which one of y'all get fussy when y'all cranky?
Probably my wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it be.
Me, I just don't wake up. If I get too tired, bro, I'm not waking up. And I've been noticed. That's been late. I used to be a morning. I still am a morning person.
Yeah.
My just whole sleep schedule out of whack now. But once I hit that threshold of like, yeah, I'm cooked. I'm not waking up. It's alarms. Yeah. I gotta make sure I get some sleep.
Nah, you gotta get your rest. So you're doing grad school, right?
Yeah.
What you pursuing?
So I'm getting my PhD in mechanical engineering.
Bruh. It's a young boy that's gonna watch this one day. It may not be this year. It may be 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Maybe when y'all, this song blows up, they'll watch this and be like, this man made this beat and he's pursuing a PhD in mechanical engineering.
I'm a nerd. I'm a whole nerd, bro. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I be doing nerd stuff like math, science, coding, experiments. Like, I be doing all that, but I make music. So yeah,
bro, those be the coldest producers. It be either the real thugged out ones that just love music, or it be the real and by the way, being a nerd, I'm a nerd too, bro. Yeah. It's just more on the gaming side.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
The music and like I'm addicted to audio interfaces and speakers and mics. Like, bro, I had to literally stop myself from overly looking at reviews. So it's nothing wrong with being a nerd because it's it keeps you out of trouble, bro.
Yeah.
And you played sports growing up too. What was your favorite sport? It was football, right?
Football, yeah.
But you played basketball too?
Yeah.
What position you played football?
I played tight end and defensive end.
Tight end and defensive end?
Yeah.
So you would knock somebody's head off on one end.
Yeah.
And on the other end, you blocking and then you getting the route, taking it to the house.
Yeah, bro. We barely passed. Our high school barely passed the ball, bro. Our running back had over 2,000 yards thanks to me and the lineman, bro. All I did was block. I'm surprised I got a scholarship. I'm not even gonna lie. I was surprised that I got a D1 offer because I'm I think I maybe had 3 catching highlights on my tape. All my tape was blocking.
Was blocks. But shoot, me, I be on Madden and I was just yelling at the game saying, bro, y'all ain't gonna block for me. Like, you serious, gang? Like, you ain't gonna block. So, with you saying that, just made me think. So, football, you feel that void with producing and everything like that. What advice, we gotta close out.
Okay.
Give some advice for my athletes, my nerds, and my students. Athletes, nerds, students. No, athletes, nerds, and artists.
Athletes, nerds, and artists.
One at a time, though.
Honestly, I can just sum it up with all three because the advice I'm going to give you is discipline. That's it. If you're an athlete, be disciplined. If you're a student, be disciplined.
Yeah.
If you're an artist, be disciplined. And discipline goes a long way because there's going to be times in your life where it's like, bro, I don't want to work out. I don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, or I don't want to study for the exam. I don't want to sharpen my skills in my academics or learn something new, or I don't want to make this content for TikTok. I don't want to go out there and do this, that, and the third. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't want to try anything new. Like, this is working for me. Let me just ride this wave. It's like being comfortable, bro. Like being disciplined, because that's going to drive you when you have those moments where you're not as enthusiastic, and it's going to keep you going. Not to say like we can't take a pause from things. Like, it's good to step outside and take a break and rest, do things that you enjoy outside of the main thing that you do, but like stay disciplined, stay at it, bro.